So you mentioned corruption. I mean, we didn't go straight into it. I mean, from government level, even the law enforcement agents now actually waylaid people in the streets trying to shake out some $5, $10, $20, you know, the ZRP. It is now part of the culture because people are seeking survival. How do you have plans in which you're going to try to implement or laws that you think you're going to introduce? Because
I'm sure the Reserve Bank governor is on record that he was complaining that the Ministry of Home Affairs has to surrender what they collect on the roads. And this shows that the system, part of the apparatus have collapsed. So we are going to make sure that the system is made to work. The reason why they have collapsed is people have lost sympathy, confidence in the system, in the leadership of government. So if you show people that you are concerned, if you show people that you don't tolerate corruption, by doing one or two things, and people see it that you are for the betterment of the people's conditions. Look what is happening in Tanzania. Mm-hmm. Tanzania then was nowhere different from what is happening in Zimbabwe. But when President Magufuli took office, what is happening in Tanzania? Things are now moving smoothly. And there is no magic about it. It's the commitment and introducing policies that people will prove that you are there for the people. And that's the reason why we chose this name, National People's Party. The thing that we need to do should be there to serve from ordinary people to the most or to the highest person you can come across on the land.
Okay, so part of what Zanu PF has become is not listening to the people. So I think when you state that statement, National People's Party, you are making quite a distinct difference because Zanu PF does not listen to anybody. In fact, if you mention your point, you become either in opposition or, you know, a person of character where they're not going to entertain you. But moving forward, we've seen that Zimbabwe is in a state of disrepair. You know, the roads, the infrastructures, and the institutions are falling apart. The hospital sector is just not functioning like it should be. Have you thought about a plan, or are you trying to figure out once you get the investors, and how do you intend to get this going?
Fungai, like what I've said already, where the most qualified, experienced, knowledgeable sons and daughters of Zimbabwe, aren't they in the neighboring countries, here in the United States of America, London, Australia, everywhere in the world? They are the ones who are running these countries' economies. Mm-hmm. And the moment they know that there's a call, clarion call at home that needs them to come home and build, it won't take time. And at the same time, investors, once they are convinced that in Zimbabwe there is now respect of rule of law, constitutionalism, which is our core value, right, they will come and we will do it. It doesn't make any sense that when you are on the other side of Limpopo, you move like you are sailing on still waters, yet you are on the road. Mm-hmm. And when you cross over to the other side of the Limpopo, you are in rugged terrain like it's a plowed field. Right. It doesn't make sense. And people are so surprised whether we are sane. They always say, but Zimbabweans, we thought you are educated, you are sane people, and yet you are so insane. Because sometimes we expect you to be behaving showing that the things that are happening are improper. And yet sometimes you make jokes out of it.
Right. I mean, when you talk about jokes, it's been a trend in Zimbabwe where people say Zunzuruku fire and everybody gets on their social media and says Zunzuruku fire. When they talk about Baba Jukwa who doesn't exist or exists, everybody jumps on it. When it's this flag, people jump on it. So from what you're saying, Zimbabweans have been gullible almost to a point or to a fact where they jump onto everything. How do you intend to show some amount of trust? I mean, you've said most of the points already, but I think at this point they want to believe, you know, they want that sense of trust. We have the coalition that you're talking about, and it's involving you and Changirai, I think one of the major opposition parties.
Yes.
The president made a joke of it. He said, my grade 1 teacher said, if you take 0 plus 0, it's equal to 0, even if you put 10 of it. How do you want to do it differently? Is there no struggle of power amongst each other, or are you just going to unite because the word says unite? How you intend to do that?
Fungai, I wouldn't want to discuss about Mugabe. He's our head of state. He has the freedom of saying whatever he wants to say. Good luck to him. But I want to say to you that trust is never demanded. Trust is earned. Us as National People's Party, we are working very hard to prove to the people that we are for the people and by the people. And whatever we are going to do, one, the leader should not impose herself or himself to the people. It's the people that know that Fungai is our best leader in 1, 2, 3 or so ways.
Right.
In 2 things, he might cause a bit of a problem. But anyway, I think we can live with that. Or he can be asked to improve on that. But Jane might not be the best person to go with, taking into account the situation in which the country is. And knowing that we are from the liberation struggle, mind you, our party, National People's Party, anchors itself from the liberation, struggle. We are a liberation movement party. So we know what we fought for. We know what the people want. We know what we still have to fulfill. There are certain expectations which people still want to see done, which have never been fulfilled from the liberation struggle period. And that's why you find that in the National People's Party, we now have the 4th organ, which is the freedom fighters organ.
Right.
This is where we are saying we need to show the Zimbabweans that we are a different animal. Where you were prescribed as the machine that was being used by Mugabe to beat up people during elections, show them that you are not. Show them that you were misdirected to do that. When you were fighting, you were the fish in the water, which was the masses. Why is it that you have turned against your masses? Why is it that you were beating the masses? You shouldn't allow yourselves to go against the will, your understanding, your conviction, which made you fight for the liberation of the very same masses that you are beating up. And this is what has made our National People's Party popular with the masses. So this coalition, we are trying to show other opposition parties that the missing link which made the opposition party fail to get into office 2008 was of the freedom fighters link, which they didn't have. Hence, we are there now. That they have to understand. And that trust, we have to build it amongst ourselves. It's a two-way thing. Trust does not just come from one side. It has to come from them. It also has to come from us. And we also have to practice certain traits that should give confidence. Confidence, not just to the seniors who have seen or received the brand of the raw things, but confidence to the youths who have been born and have never experienced good life. Some of them have never witnessed a pay slip.
Right.
Today they are university graduates. They have hung their gowns. Mm-hmm. They are the ones that are selling airtime on the streets.
True.
As I speak, I'm a mother-in-law. I'm a grandmother of 12. I am looking after sons-in-law and grandchildren. Is that what is supposed to be done? No, it's not their own make. It's because of the economy that has been poorly managed. You spoke about 15 billion that have been mishandled. These 15 billion that have been mishandled, it happened even during the GNU, when Tendai Biti was the Minister of Finance. And I remember very well, he used to ask, President, I want to know where the proceeds of diamonds are going.
And his answer?
Whether he was getting it in private, but as he was asking it in my presence, I never heard him getting the rightful answer. Okay, you want to know whether, as a vice president, I was able to know what was going on? No, I did not. It's one thing that you would say, for a vice president, you have to understand everything. Not with Mugabe. He is a full executive president. He will not allow his vice to know all those bits and pieces. I was there, yes, for 10 years, but those were secret things that he was doing all by himself, maybe with the Minister of Mines. I never knew what was happening. And I'm sure Tendai would be my witness, because as the Minister of Finance then, he was also looking for the same answers. Let alone when I was Vice President of Zanu PF, I never saw one single account of the party. That was never available to me. So how about knowing the process of government?
So
it was never done.
It still remains a mystery. But anyway, we're about to enter elections.
Yes.
2018 is just around the corner. How do you want to convince the people that these elections will be free and fair? Because in the past, for the past 37 years, people believe, and there's been evidence of people voting from the grave, people voting from abroad when they're not even on the ground, busloads of people being ferried from this point to that point to vote in a neighborhood that they don't even live. How do you want the people to feel, to know that these votes are not going to be stolen if they want to vote for you?
First and foremost, there is no register that exists in Zimbabwe anymore because of the biometric voting system.
Okay.
That has been, going to be implemented. So that is going to be off. But as they are formulating this system, I'm urging every one of us, especially the youths, the 18-year-olds and above, the first-time voters, to actually come out in their hordes of numbers to register and go to check whether their registration will have been maintained, and then go to vote. Why? Simply because if they say, the usual practice, we have no confidence that it will never be practiced again. No.
That's the
Mind
general feeling
Aha.
right now.
But let me tell you, just by not going to register and not going to vote, they will be the first people who will have disenfranchised themselves. They shouldn't complain afterwards. Because you can imagine if we do that in our great numbers, let's suppose 500,000 does that, or 1 million does that, what will happen then to Mugabe? He will have won. So if we come out in our big numbers and we vote, to tell you the truth, we will make it. Yes, we know, and we are reminding each other, we are reminding them that we are not going to allow anyone, or some of those people who have been perpetrating those atrocities, I even talking about them. Say, no, we have left about these Zanu PF tendencies of being hired to go and harass other people and so forth. I said, we didn't know you were part of the team. No. Because as I was vice president, I used to talk about it. Let's not beat others. Let's not kill.
Right.
Because when you kill, that bad omen will not run with the party. It will run with you and your family. I am on record to have said that. And they are actually in agreement with that. So I'm happy to tell you that even from Zanu PF, you are beginning to hear those scattered calling that, oh no, we don't want to hear that there are people who are fighting each other, who are causing all these things. But anyway, better the commitment, better the talk. One day it will be heeded too. So what I'm trying to say is, let's all, even the diasporians, I know you are being disenfranchised because you are not allowed to vote where you are. And we are calling on parliamentarians to talk about it. Because we want our kith and kin who can't afford to fly back home because of economic problems that you are facing out here. It's not because it's not when you're America you are having good times. We know the hardships. Even those that are closer home to South Africa, I've been there many times. I know the hardships of what they are going through. So we want, why is it that other countries, they are allowing their own kith and kin to vote from wherever they are? And now that they are using the biometric, and I'm sure it will be done very easily, that this is the mode of doing things, and nobody can cut corners if it's done properly. So I am urging, and I am forcing government that our children in the diaspora have to be allowed to vote wherever they are. That law must be repealed so that our children are allowed to. It's their right. Their vote is their voice and their right.
Okay. Thank you very much on that note. We appreciate for the time you've taken to come and speak to us. I'm hoping that Zimbabweans will hear your voice and make their own decisions.
Thank you very much. You are most welcome, and I hope we will be able to work together to make sure that we make Zimbabwe, our beautiful country, great again.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
This was Dr. Joice Mujuru joining us right here at Sahara Studios in New York. I'm Fungai Maboreke. Thank you.